Each event has a default behavior. For example, clicking on a link that has an external link will take you to another page. So the default behavior of the click event on a link is that you will be redirected. Or if you have a submit button for a form, when you click on it, the form will be submitted directly. This might be what you want, but sometimes you want to cancel the default behavior. For example, you want to check if the data provided by the user is the correct data. For this video, I have prepared a form. This form has an email. It has a password input and a password confirmation input, and a submit button. This form can be submitted even if we don't provide any informations to it. To fix this, we can add the required attribute to all inputs. Now this problem is fixed. Let's enter some data. So you can notice here that I have entered two different passwords and the form got submitted. So this is not what we want. We want first to check if these passwords are the same and if they are longer than 6 characters. If the password is longer than 6 characters and the first password and the second one entered are the same, we submit the form. Otherwise, we show an error message. So let's do it. Let's select the form. Then let's select the inputs. So var email input document.getElement by ID, and I will give it the email input, then the password input, then the password confirmation input. Let's console log these variables to see if we correctly selected them. Let's first console log the form. Great, we have the form. Then let's console log the email. Great. Then the password input. Great. Then the password confirmation input. Great. Now the event that we will listen to is the submit event on the form. So I will target the form, then add event listener, and I will use for the event submit. And here I will add a callback. And to stop the default behavior and prevent the form from being submitted, we will use the preventDefault method on the event object. And now when we enter data, then click on submit, the form will not be submitted. So now we need to check if the password is longer than 6 characters. So if it is not longer than 6 characters, we will add a message. Of course, here we can create a new paragraph, then add the paragraph that says error or something else. To make it simple, we will just console log password must have at least 6 characters. And now when we enter a short password, we have the message. Great, we are almost there. So else here, this means that the password is longer than 6 characters. So we will check if the passwords are not the same. And we will console log passwords do not match. And now when we enter a password that is longer than 6 characters, but the password confirmation is different, we have the message passwords do not match. Great. And now let's add an else block here. This means that the password is longer than 6 characters and passwords do match. Here we submit the form, so we simply do it by calling the submit method on the form element. And now when everything is correct, when the password is longer than 6 characters and passwords are the same, the form will be submitted. Great.